It's the end of the West region. We're going to be moving on to the region number 2, aka the East, aka the one that's right below the West region. If you're looking at your bracket, um, we're busting down these brackets, boys and girls. It's going to be simple. We're going to try to find these sleepers, try to find these teams that you've never heard of that we've been betting on all year. Quick shout out to all the dads watching us on the big screens, and quick shout out to all the MILFs allowing them to use the living room TV. Without further ado, enough about the men of the house and the MILFs of the house. Let's go into the East region. We got the number 1 seed in that region, the Michigan Wolverines, rocking the yellow and blue. One of my, who I think should win Coach of the Year, but probably will lose to Mark Few, is Juwan Howard. He stays classy. You never know what he's going to wear. Um, it's Michigan for me. Whoever they play, it doesn't matter who they play
Agree.
in the
I
first
have
round.
Michigan as well.
Agreed.
Yep, I will say, moving on, we'll talk about it more during the week. They will run into trouble in the second round, especially if Livers and Stephen A. Smith Jr.'s, a.k.a. the bastard son of Stephen A. Smith, as Greg likes to call him, if they play or not, they're both injured. I know Livers isn't due to be back till the Sweet 16, so just a little side note for you guys making the brackets out there. Um, let's move on. Let's move on. It's enough Michigan talk. They're a great team. LSU, number 8 seed, going against St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Uh, go Tigers. Go Tigers. Against I didn't know that the Bonnies were named the Bonnies, but I guess they're little housewives. I'm not sure what a Bonnie is. Um, the LSU coach always matches the home and away jerseys with a striped tie or a polka dot tie. And the same Bonnie's coach wears a nice suit. Problem is, not tailored. Sleeves too long. Don't like it. Uh, Tigers are a top offensive team in the country. They're averaging almost 80 points a game. Cameron Thomas is a freshman to watch. He's top 10 in the country in scoring. But St. Bonnie's just a good team all around. They don't do anything very well. Like, they're not like top 10 in any category, but just they're top 30 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. Morgan, give me your pick. Speak to me. Do we see an upset?
We talking to me? I'm sorry,
I
my
said
head.
Morgan.
Okay, I thought you did my headset. Just my AirPod just fucked up. I like LSU in this game. I think this actually is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be like a 74-72 score. We're looking at. Um, I'm looking at the stats of these two teams. Again, one of the big things for me, first off, is talent. LSU has a significantly higher level of athleticism and talent overall than St. Bonnie's does. Next, you kind of get into it. Their statistics are very, very equal to one another, but LSU does one thing much better, and that's just flat out score. They score the ball and they make a significantly higher percentage of their shots than St. Bonnie's does. Right now, we're looking at about a 3% difference in their field goal percentage. That's big, especially this time of year where possessions are going to be limited and you're cutting down turnovers. Hopefully, you got to make the shots you take. So I do like LSU in this one.
Greg.
Yeah, I'm on St. Bonnie's.
Ooh.
I'm on
Oh,
Bonnie's.
why? I'm interested. Why?
I'm
Did
on
you
the
move?
Bonnie's. Yeah, I moved over to where I had the charger.
Got you. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, when I was charging before in chat, I was still losing battery. So let's see how this goes. But yeah, I like the Bonnies. I know LSU can score the ball. Bonnies can score the ball too. What they do is play better defense than LSU. Uh, sure, it's major conference versus mid-major, but we know that conference, the American Atlantic, they have some good teams in there. And Bonnie's won. They won it. LSU came close today. They really did. But I think the Bonnies just hold them down, play good enough defense to take this one.
Interesting. So, what you're saying is you think that the Bonnies are just as good as Alabama?
No, That is
Okay.
not.
So, but you think they could score with Alabama?
That is not what I said either.
Okay. I'm just trying to
I mean,
compare two teams.
if we're talking in terms of that, if you guys remember back to earlier in the season, Alabama beat LSU by 40.
Yeah. Yeah. They're better. LSU's a much better team than they were in the beginning of the year. That's for sure.
I can,
I remember that game specifically
yeah,
because I bet on LSU, and it was just a letdown game for them. This one, I don't think will be.
yeah. I
I'm
remember in the
gonna.
game, Herbert Jones had like 8 threes in the first 10 minutes of the game.
That's brutal. Kid can ball though.
Sure
We'll get
can.
to them later. We'll get to them down at the bottom of this bracket. I'm on the Tigers. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers!
Go
Go
Tigers.
Tigers! Go
Go
Tigers!
Joe.
Joe Burrow.
Um, I think they're just a better offensive team. I think that they're the more talented team. I think Cameron Thomas just puts them a little bit over the top as a go-to guy. So I'm taking that. That's what I'm going with. And I told Morgan before I have them moving on in the next round as well against Michigan with or without Livers and Stephen A. Smith Jr. And for those of you who don't know, it's Eli Brooks, Stephen A. Smith Jr. um, Now our favorite 5-12 matchup again: Colorado versus Georgetown. Colorado Buffaloes versus Georgetown Hoyas. No idea what a Hoya is. First question for you guys. Either one of you can tell me what a Hoya is. I'll bet you $10.
I know what like a Goya bean is.
That ain't the same.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
know
I
what
got.
it is. So if you tell me wrong answer,
I'm
that's too
pretty sure
late.
it has something to do with a law student.
Well, whatever it is, they're on a roll. Coming out of the Big East Championship, Colorado wearing the black and gold or
Fun
the white
fact:
and
I just
gold.
found out what a Hoya is.
Tell me.
Hoya is an ancient Greek word that derivates. Oh man, comes out.
Derivative.
I don't know what I just tried to say. It comes out to mean small stones or rocks.
Oh, so
Basically,
yeah,
the
small
Georgetown
balls.
rocks. Yeah,
Oh boy, what a weird fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Um, I've just officially changed my pick based
yeah.
on that
Their
right there.
chant, their chant for Georgetown is Hoya Saxa, which means what rocks.
Not Georgetown with that. Second that. Um, the suit game. The suit game. Let's get into it. Um, Everybody knows who the coach of Georgetown is, except for people who work at MSG. Apparently, Patrick Ewing was spotted at MSG. Nobody knew who he was. His suit is so big, Craig could swim in it.
It's criminal.
It truly is. That's a story for another day. How dare MSG? The coach from Boulder, from Colorado. If you don't know, University of Colorado is in Boulder, which is the weed capital of the world. So that suit, I'm sure, reeks of weed when he walks down Pearl Street in Boulder. um, Colorado is a deep team. They run 10 deep every night. They can go 12 deep if they have to. They're one of the slowest teams in the country, but very, very efficient while doing it, as most teams are who run at a slow pace. They find the right shot. They make teams work on defense. But Georgetown's on a run, and when you disrespected future Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing, it's a recipe for disaster. I think. Let's kick it to Greg. Greg, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, so I've officially changed my pick. Not because of the Hoya's name or their
Hoya
chant.
Saxa.
Yeah,
That's
because of
exactly why I
neither of
changed it.
those. Just for the fact that I think, as good as Georgetown has played, I think it's going to come to an end here. Um, there's no reason for them to be in this tournament.
Mhm.
If they didn't win the tournament, I don't even think they'd be in the NIT.
They wouldn't be.
So I think Colorado's just a much better team. I think they're going to be real pissed that they let Oregon State skate by them. And I think that they're out for blood in this game. Beat up on a team that they should beat up on. And then take it home.
Morgan.
Hoya Saxa. I'm on Georgetown. Um, I am a big proponent of the team that gets hot at the right time. I love it, and I said earlier tonight, Billy. I don't know, Greg, if you were in yet. I'm happy to see Georgetown back in the tournament.
Mhm.
It just seems right because when my first memories of me really starting to watch college basketball, get into it, are those Georgetown teams getting in there and kind of being a great, just being a pest in the Big East, running with UConn constantly, seeing great talent coming out of Georgetown. We talked the other night about it was like the 30th anniversary of the UConn Georgetown Ray Allen versus Allen Iverson game. I loved Jeff Green in college. He was one of my favorite players to watch. I always wanted him to play for the Sixers. Would have been awesome. Um, big thing here is Georgetown is a better defensive team than Colorado is by a pretty decent margin, actually. Their offensive rebounds per game is better than they get for themselves. They average more than 4 rebounds than Colorado does on the defensive end as well. They're almost 2 full blocks more than Colorado. They're almost a full steal per game more, and they foul less than Colorado does. So all that to me just leads to a close game that I think Georgetown can win at the end of it. I think you're going to have such an emotional high right here. You're going to ride that momentum at least one more round.
I don't hate those statistics, but I will say when you do run at a faster pace, you will get more statistics.
That's true. Fair enough.
So I think I like I said, I changed my pick. Whatever Hoya Saxo means, fuck
Oh, yeah,
that.
Saxa.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I could
off of it.
see the upset happening for sure, but I
Would I be
I don't
shocked?
think it happened.
Yeah. Would I
I
be
wouldn't
shocked?
be shocked
No,
if it happened. I would not be shocked, but I don't think it will.
me either. I'm taking Colorado. I'm taking the Buffaloes. I'm taking the weed smell. Something smells a little smelly in here. Um,
Smelly smell.
boys, anybody fading Florida State against
Nope.
UNGC?
No,
Nope.
We can skip that one, right?
That's an easy one.
I,
Okay.
I think
I just want, just in case, you never know. There's people out there that fade all 1 seeds. That ain't us. That's going to be a 30-point game. They're going to win by 30. We'll talk more about Michigan State versus UCLA, which will be the play-in game. But who you think will win that game? This way we can get into the who's going to play BYU. Greg,
Michigan State.
Morgan.
Michigan State.
All right, we're all on Michigan State. I actually love to see that because I already bet on Michigan State.
I
Um,
definitely think Michigan State's moving on here. Michigan State, we've said 1,000 different times. It's not March. It's Izzo. It's
mhm.
Izzo season. Right here, right now.
I can promise you that Tom Izzo is wearing the same hat as me. We sleep in May. Promise you. He's sitting at home, sitting in the hotel, watching tape, wearing this hat.
This is where it happens right here. Izzo's going to get him through. I think Izzo could take him to the Sweet 16. I really do. But that's for another conversation.
Greg, who you got moving on? BYU or Michigan State?
I would have BYU moving on. I would.
Interesting.
I would. I think Michigan State could possibly make a run, but it would take a lot for me to change my mind, and it would take way too much overthinking. I think BYU's offense is too good. Um, I think they just have it. I think BYU has a better chance of making a run than a lot of other teams.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for the fact that they could put the ball in the bucket, and I don't exactly remember how they're.
I don't think they play very much defense.
No,
That
they don't.
that
But
conference just doesn't play defense.
no, they definitely do not. But they could outscore Michigan State. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I just worry that BYU outside of Gonzaga and Pepperdine, like I consider Pepperdine a good team. A lot of
So,
people don't, but besides those two teams, they don't play anybody. And Michigan State has some big wins recently. Yeah, they didn't win the tournament like I thought they would. It was a long shot, but I do think that they have a little bit more momentum. BYU had that game against Gonzaga and just they wound up almost not even covering the 14 and a half points. So I'm going to be on Michigan State. Um, I think they're just the better coached team. As far as um, obviously you got the for the casuals out there, aka Sean, Mister Free Labor. I don't like a Cougar. Give me the Warrior and the Spartan.
I mean, BYU did beat St. John's and San Diego State.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him that.
Michigan State beat Michigan.
Hmm.
That is true.
St. John's isn't in the
Saying.
tournament.
Just saying. And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, did Michigan State take down Illinois as well?
Yes.
I
Same week.
mean,
In the same week.
I'm not saying they don't have it in them. I'm not saying they don't have it in them.
No, I think if UCLA somehow beats Michigan State, which I don't think they do, but I don't even really know why UCLA is going
I
to be on
mean,
this
if
play-in.
I feel like this conversation would be completely different if BYU didn't forget how to shoot in the second half against Gonzaga.
Well, they wouldn't be on the sixth line if they forgot how to shoot against Gonzaga.
I think they probably would be.
You beat the number one undefeated team in the country? I don't think so. That's there. It is. That's a story for a different day.
I mean,
There's a
Oklahoma
lot.
did the same thing, and they should be a 3 seed, but yet they're still a 4.
Who?
Oklahoma State beat Baylor.
They should be a 3 seed.
I know, but they're
They
4.
there. There's something fishy about that. We'll get into that when we get over there. Because I do want to touch upon that because I think it's a little fishy. Um, let's move on. The Texas Longhorns are against Abilene Christian. Love Abilene Christian. The Wildcats. You have that ugly Texas Longhorn orange against guess what, Morgan? Sexy purple. A little silky purple. Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like his hair. Don't like his hair.
Weird hair.
Dude, it's so weird. I'm so used to him being bald. But then you go to Abilene Christian. This guy has hair like he was a Christian minister in the 1950s. And Joe Golding, weirdest dude I ever looked at today. I looked at every single coach's face. Ugliest dude I saw today. My one take, I will say, Texas wins this game. I do think that Abilene Christian covers this game. They can score with the best of them.
Mhm.
But if you're betting when, take the points with the Wildcats. That's all I got, boys. Let's kick it to Morgan. Maybe he's got a stat for us.
yeah, so this game's interesting to me because I'm very torn, honestly. Very torn on this game. My gut, what I've seen says take Texas. Texas is a better team. However,
Oh
when I
boy.
dive into it statistically, when I dive into it and just knowing that there always is a team, a 3 seed or something big that goes down early, I think I'm going to ride Abilene Christian.
Bold move.
I'm leaning them right now. I'm looking at their statistics and everything, and realistically, they are better than. Granted, I know their competition is different. They're better than Texas in almost every defense and offensive statistic. They score more points. Their margins are better. Their assists per game are significant. Abilene Christian has almost 6 more assists per game than Texas does. Their field goal percentage is better. Their offensive rebound percentage is basically the exact same. They turn the ball over the less. They give up 9 less points per game. And they get 4 more steals per game than Texas does on the defensive end. It's a tough one. You want to lean Texas as the better team, the more talent, but I think this is a primed upset spot right here, and I think I'm going to go Abilene Christian.
Greg, speak to me.
Yeah, I
Speak to
don't.
him.
I disagree. I disagree. I think Texas is going to take this game. It wouldn't surprise me if Abilene Christian covers, but Texas is going to take this game. Fact is, we'll go back to the skill point of view. They have NBA caliber players at all the positions. Jericho Sims, he's an NBA player. I'm forgetting the name of their other forward. NBA
Jones.
caliber. Yeah,
Greg Porter.
Jones, right?
Yeah.
Greg Jones. Yeah, NBA caliber player. It's it's going to come down to the skill level, and sure, Abilene Christian has all of those stats over them, but the disparity of their conference is ridiculously different.
Mm-hmm.
When 70% of your conference is actually in the NCAA tournament, I can completely understand why the stats are what they are and why they look so different. You
Oh,
know,
Speaking of which, we're both wrong. It's Greg Brown.
yeah, Greg Brown. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, the only competition that they had this year was, Stephen F. Austin. Who else?
that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, they're playing, Corpus Christi, Texas A&M,
Yeah.
4 times a year.
Yeah. This is
Disparity is
usually
way too different.
this is usually the bid that Stephen F. Austin gets. It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
You see Stephen F. Austin most years in this spot at the 14, 15, playing Duke or playing somebody, and they just roll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like just I do know just because I've watched a lot of Stephen F. Austin over the years in the tournament, they don't score very much. I think that this is just a bad matchup for Abilene Christian. Texas can score; they can put up 80 points, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If they were going into Kansas, I could see an upset just because I know Kansas struggles to score. Yeah, there is a talent disparity, but the reason why the line is only 8, I think 7.5 or 8, is because they know both teams can score.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Abilene Christian shoots well from 3, but Texas wins this game. Like I said, I'm going to be on the Wildcats to cover the game, but let's move on. Let's get over this to our favorite team. The Yukon Kemba Walker Huskies going against the Maryland Terrapins. Morgan, tell me what a terrapin is.
A terrapin is a little turtle.
Yep, I wanted to see if either one of you knew. Not everybody knows. Um, the blue and white jerseys going against the red, orange, and white jerseys for those milfs at home. Uh, the Hurley family, basketball royalty to me. I love them. You never know what this guy's gonna wear. He could show up in a T-shirt. It doesn't matter. Um, Turgeon, he's got an expensive suit. He pays for it on layaway because he never know if he might get fired. Maryland's one of the streakiest teams in the league. Uh, they're either very, very good or very, very bad. Um, like many others, UConn broke my heart losing to the Hoyas. I needed them. I had a
Or
perfect.
Saxa.
Stop.
That's now that is now something that I will say at every opportunity. So just
Fair. It's fair, I guess.
I have to do it.
UConn plays great defense. They don't score a lot. I think I won't even tell you what I think yet. I'll let Greg tell me what he thinks first, and I'll let Morgan tell me what he thinks first. Because this game is tight for me. It's a little tight for me. Greggy.
All right. I am going with UConn in this game. Line's tight, 2.5. Vegas expects it to be close. I could see it being close. I hate Maryland. This is not the Anthony Cowan, Mello Trimble Maryland. This is the Eric Ayala run Maryland that can put up a fight with Michigan one day and can get blown out by Rutgers the next.
It's wild.
It's a wild day and night thing with them where you're blind and you don't know if it's day or night. So you have no idea what kind of product you're going to get out of them. I am going to go with the more comfortable side in UConn, and I think that Book Night just carries them to the next round.
Morgan.
I like UConn as well. I agree a lot with what Greg just said, and Book Night being the big difference maker here. Maryland, I don't trust Maryland the slightest bit. All the statistics lean UConn's side, whether it be points per game. There's literally nothing that shouts Maryland has a shot at this one. Defensive stats lean significantly more towards UConn as well. They give up less per game. They hold opponents to an effective field goal percentage of 46%. They are doubling what Maryland's output is in offensive rebounds per game, so they're going to get a ton more chances. UConn all day.
Great. Love it. I'm taking Maryland. Fuck you both. You're both shooting under 50% for the year. Taking Maryland. I was waiting for both of you to agree, for me to disagree. Give me Maryland.
Old strategy.
Big players step up in big moments. I love Book Knight. He didn't step up in the big moment. He let me down against a bad, bad team. A team who has no business being in the tournament, as we mentioned before. Give me Aaron Wiggins, probably the better brother, and give me Eric Ayala. They're both streaky. Listen, you know what you're going to get. I only need to be hot one night. I don't think I'm going to win the tournament.
You don't know what you're going to get.
I know. Give it to me. I'm asking them. I'm asking them real nice. Give me it. I want to fade you guys.
Letter, maybe.
What?
Send them a nicely worded letter. Maybe they'll do it.
I'll send them a tweet, bro. It's the 21st century. I'll be like, listen, I really need you guys. You know, both these guys are in my bracket. They don't trust you. They don't believe in you. But me, I believe in you. Just one game. That's all we need from you guys.
Maybe that'll get it done.
Yep. You know, it's just a little different. You know, after what UConn did to me, I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. They broke my poor little heart. I had little left, and that's what they did with it. Moving on. The last game in the what is this? Which bracket is this? The South? What are we at?
The East. This is the East.
We're in the East. I don't remember. Bama versus Iona. Roll Tide. For the record, no idea what that means. Going against the Gales. Red and white versus the red, gold, and white. Nate Oates. I love him. Love Nate Oates as a coach. He could possibly be the basketball coach version of Nick Saban in a couple years. No nonsense. Expects perfection. He does. He absolutely does. You're laughing, but it's true. And going against a cheater, Rick Pitino. But, you know, is he a cheater? Absolutely. But has he brought 5 different teams to an NCAA tournament? Absolutely. The guy can coach. He was at an interview today on ESPN. He was wearing a nice suit. They asked him, "Hey, how many suits do you bring in?" Because they're a 15 seed. Iona is not a big school. They've never won a game in the tournament. He said, "I brought 8 suits. Got to make the kids believe." That's something you don't hear every day. You don't hear a 15 seed bringing 8 suits for a 3-day weekend. What's he going to do with the rest of the suits? He plans on wearing them.
But Salvation Army.
Yeah, selling them to Salvation Army. A little salvation for himself being such a cheater. I will say this is the highest scoring game of the weekend. Easily. This number is set completely wrong. I can't wait to get into it on Thursday. This number is going to be up 9 points by then. So you might want to take it now, I think. Personally, it's just my personal opinion. Side note, Alabama is 19-0 now officially after today when scoring at least 80 points in a game. Either one of you taking Iona for the upset?
No.
Me either. It's like a good story about the 8 suits. Just wanted to tell it.
Yeah. Good for Rick.
Yeah. Morgan.
No, not a chance. No shot. No
All right. So that was Morgan. What that was the East.
That was the East.
East is done. Boys and girls breaking down brackets with Ben Zagnall.